Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. I'm here in Turkey doing a live stream. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me? I have my portable mic here, but I just want to make sure that everything is working okay before we get into it. But welcome back to the Brown Gent. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video. I was on a boat cruise today and I saw the news from Scroll. Incredibly disappointing. A ton of things that they really got wrong after they tried to let us think that they had things under control. Most importantly, it's very whale focused. I saw nothing about a cap on the number of tokens you can earn, which means that combined with them letting whales know exactly when to invest into Scroll sounds like they really wanted to make sure that the on-chain community got nothing. Doesn't matter how much you paid to bridge, doesn't matter what you did, they want to make sure that you guys got absolutely nothing. I'm going to talk to you guys a bit about how influencers also played a part in this and what I'll be doing to sort of rectify my role in this, because as you guys know, I'm always very transparent. But if you haven't already, remember, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to get into it. And as always, remember, nothing I say here is financial advice. I'm just someone on YouTube. So with that being said, also, if you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Twitter so you can keep up to date with everything that's happening. In fact, I posted earlier today about the Jupiter ASR or active staking rewards drop. Also, check me out and the wallet that I farm airdrops with on the bank. And if you want extra coaching, guidance, and support, the Web3 Secret Society, join a community with like-minded people to maximize your earnings, or schedule a private video call to maximize your chances of doing well in the bull run. So, as I mentioned, I don't know if it was the Black Sea or whatever, but basically we're on this 2.5-hour cruise in Turkey, and I get a notification that 2 minutes prior, Scroll sent out a note. And funny, I got it on the Apple Watch, which is constantly buzzing right now even. But they were saying, hey, we're proud to announce our first airdrop. So I thought, hey, given what Sandy had said about wanting it to be fair and how it wasn't going to be whale focused, how they were going to flatten it so that everyone else got a chance to eat, well, I thought it would be much better, especially after it came out that the Scroll team had millions of marks across wallets. And while I'm going to talk to you a bit about why that's still very dishonest and why it's not good, because it's way worse than you think. Because just so you guys know, the Scroll team, they participated in the airdrop, and while they won't claim it, they're removing those allocations from the airdrop to be given out at a later time, which means once again the community suffers because the team gets an advantage. So I just want to say hi to everyone in the chat. Got Bohemian Grove in here. Scroll airdrop, let's go. We got Simone Biles, 800 marks. Man, a cheeseburger, that's being a little ambitious, won't you say? 2388, yeah, a cheeseburger combo for Fergotronics. We got Doc Chandler. Yep, definitely not a good thing. Shit show for sure for Scroll. At least Scroll did not mark me as a Sybil. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it wouldn't have really changed much, would it? Is the checker live yet? It's not yet live. It goes live tomorrow at 7 a.m. UTC, or I believe that's like 10 a.m. Turkey time. Didn't think so. That worked great. Show says Simone, word is you might get a milkshake. I think you get 0 for holding a Veron V NFT, which we'll get into as well. Perfect. You guys can hear. We got Metro. We got Formula One. We got Fred Jove, Mobile Stock Chandler, Sam, The Skill, Rajon. We got Formula One. Yeah, very disappointing. And Formula One, yeah, it is very close to $70 for 1K marks, which is very disappointing. Oscar, hello. Another whale airdrop. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yep. Definitely heard the team had millions of marks. It's awful. How is it fair that top 100 wallets have 34% of community airdrop? It's not fair. In fact, the Scroll team pretty much sealed the fate of this airdrop. Hala, how's it going, Gizla? Bridge out an hour later. Honestly, with these protocols, you never know. I'm still gonna wait to bridge out till after the airdrop because we saw this with Athena. They just sort of disqualify people for no reason. All right. Hi, brother. Thanks for streaming from Turkey. Scroll just bent down a whale's Binance. Oh my God. The Binance Launchpad and ETH ecosystem big bosses. Yeah, it's bad. What about mitosis? Mitosis isn't worth it, in my opinion, anymore. I do the bare minimum there. Linea, ZK Scroll. I mean, ZK wasn't that bad. Linea delays, infinite delays, just like Swell and Chroma. All right. So we saw this, and let's just go through the announcement. So I don't know what they're celebrating. A celebration of the global community. They didn't really do anything. The problem with these airdrops, right, is you guys have to realize, like, there's definitely a challenge these companies have or these protocols have. They want the team to get the tokens, and they want people who will support the team to get the tokens. But then when they do something like this and make sure the tokens go basically in the hands of someone like Justin Sun, who's going to dump it and make sure that they don't cap it. So they say, hey, you know what? About a week or 2 weeks ago, I was very frustrated with Scroll because for most of us, we've been farming it for almost a year now. And then they posted early that, hey, guess what? Our snapshot is on the 19th and we're going to distribute on the 22nd. All of a sudden giving a green flag to whales to just put a ton of money in for a short period of time and telling them straight up, all they care about really is marks, but then saying, hey, like there could be on-chain eligibility, and that really came to nothing. It ended up being, did you work in Ethereum? Not did you do anything on Scroll? So the one thing I will tell everyone is if you want to make your voice heard and you want the Scroll team to really feel it, don't use them. Think about what happened with Starknet. Who uses Starknet right now? I don't know anyone, right? If you take a look at their airdrop design, they broke it out into 4 categories. Let's start from the right and go to the left. From the right, they got a global community. So if you want a hackathon, if you sort of were an Ethereum translator or a dev, or you're part of the global community organization, you're getting paid. If you're an industry contributor, if you're an open source contributor, a technical contributor, a ZK researcher, or a public good org or educational data provider, you got it. Or if you're an ecosystem project. The only people who got screwed here is the on-chain community, given how they're doing the airdrop. 5.5% of the supply. To put it in perspective, I believe ZK Sync, which had a very questionable airdrop in the eyes of some, gave out 17% of token for about 5 times as much TVL, right? Or even FDV. Like, it's insane. They've given nothing. So they're saying they're fairly rewarding key contributors. Great. So the community drop is for, people like me and you, those who did on-chain activities. I don't think many of you are part of any of the other stuff, being part of projects or industry contributors or global community. And we have been farming this for a long time. In fact, we were paying massive gas fees before the update with the blobs, right? The blob update saved us a ton of money on Scroll. But even still, we went from paying like $2 to like maybe 5 cents a transaction. And they're giving out 55 million tokens, which is about, the total supply is 1 billion, right? 5.5% to that. 4% is based on who has the most marks, as long as you have 200 or more marks. So basically, they didn't put a cap. And here's how I know this. When they cap it, they tell you, because this is definitely a marketing message that you want to promote. Hey, we capped it at 20,000 marks for this season. So anybody over it, that's what they could have done. 100,000 marks. Nothing like that. In fact, the people who are going to do the best out of the community here are those who signed up multiple wallets and spread their money across, because there's a sort of flat boost as well. So Basically 40 million of this token, 4%, is basically proportionally based on your marks. As long as you have 200 or more by October 19th, you're good. And there's a way to top this up with your badges. We'll get into that in a second. The flat boost, 10 million. This is like literally every single wallet will get a portion of it. So that doesn't matter how many marks you got. This is their way of having a bit of a communist style approach. Everyone gets the same thing, right? But all this does when you give 10 million this way is support Sybils. It doesn't really support users. And the 40 million really supports the whales, because the whales will be taking like 98% of the supply. That's just the reality of it. The way they did it, because they didn't want to cap it, I'm sure. And just so you guys know, because many of you may not know this, a lot of whales will have told them up front what the criteria can be. This is why you see things like this. Teams want to support whales. They don't want to support the community. They give lip service to the community, but they give the money to the whales, and that's just the reality of it. So that the whales will tell them, no, we want X amount, or we don't support, or we won't bring TVL on. And this stuff is decided ahead of time. It's just revealed after the fact. You think whales are putting millions of dollars on here without knowing? The only time Scroll screwed up is by sharing this information. I'm sure other protocols will also tell the whales when their snapshots are going. They just aren't transparent with the community about it. So the on-chain bonus, which is kind of confusing, 5 million tokens is given to those who hold a top-level ENS domain or name. I don't know what qualifies as top level. Like, for example, I got the Brown Gent.eth. Is that top level? I have no idea. I donated more than 1 cent to a Gitcoin grant, so that should help me. Using a smart contract wallet, that's like using the Safe wallet or something, right? So there is this. It's kind of fuzzy, and it's as of August 1st. So this snapshot happened months prior, which is really weird why they would do this in August 1st and the other one October 19th. The only way this makes sense is they did this for whales once again, right? If they were truly doing this because they thought it was the right thing to do, this snapshot would have been October 19th as well. But they don't want to do that. Why? Because this doesn't impact whales. Doing August 1st or October 19th won't change anything like that for the whales. Now, here's something that I think a lot of dishonest influencers were doing. A lot of people, I know I mentioned, hey, like, don't kill yourself doing badges, because I didn't think they would be worth that much. I said, hey, use it as a proxy for on-chain activity. A lot of people were out there creating threads on Canvas marks. I'm not saying they did this for that reason, but just so you guys know, there is a referral bonus. The one thing I will tell you guys is when you have an incentive, right? Show me the incentive, I'll show you the result, basically. And in Scroll, there were 2 ways to make money off your audience. One was to buy up a bunch of Veronvi NFTs and then dump them on your followers. I didn't do this. I minted one, I bought one, and I sold one when it doubled. And the other is to push the amount of people to do Canvas. Now, let me explain why. I'm a very small influencer in the grand scheme of things. I'm sure you know many who have been talking about Canvas and badges. But I want you to see something. First, I'll show you what happened. I'm going to show you why they did it. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, okay? So, as we likely expected, Canvas and the badges really do nothing. They're just a way to top up your marks. They're not even worth it. You get 60 marks if you did 20 more badges, and you get 25 marks if you did 1 to 4 badges, etc. You see the 4 criteria right here. Ironically, I actually got 20 badges exactly, because that was, for me, what worked in the schematic. I did it just for an aesthetic reason. Exactly 20 badges. So it gives me 60 marks, but at the end of the day, what is 60 marks really going to do for me? I have 14,293. It's really nothing, okay? And they're not going to be used going forward, okay? Ecosystem projects and stuff, I will leave this for you guys to read after the fact. This shouldn't impact any of you, but once again, this is not something that's really going to support the people who are watching this live stream, or those of you who've been farming Scroll, hoping for once that the team would be honest and transparent about what they're doing. Now, I'm saying all this. This is all assumptions based on what they put out. Maybe they did put a cap. I really doubt it. But if that's the case, hopefully Sandy and the team will come out and say something about this. There's a wildfire going out on Twitter about all of this right now. So, as you know, the snapshot happened on October 19th. For those of you who are wondering, the claim isn't open yet, but you can start your claim tomorrow at 7 a.m. UTC. So for me, that's in about 9 or 10 hours. I'm not really sure in Turkey. And if you go to the airdrop claim website, it's currently password protected. I did try some passwords like Sandy and whatever, and obviously I guess they were much smarter than I thought they would be, but I couldn't get in. But that password will be gone after the fact. We'll have 90 days to claim, okay? So a couple things I want to get to. So Canvas, why do people talk about this? Why were influencers pushing this, right? I thought, hey, it's a nice thing to have, but nothing to go crazy about. Here's why. Take a look at this. I have very little referral power, but even I got 0.12 ETH, basically 0.1195 ETH from all of the people who use my referral to mint a canvas. They got 50% off. Great. But guess who gets the other 50%? The influencer who referred you. And there are people on Twitter who have made 3 to 5 plus ETH. They've shared this before. They've shared how much ETH they've made off referring people. And for them, this is their Scroll airdrop. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give away all of the ETH that I got from the referral. I'm going to do this on a giveaway on Twitter. I don't want any of it. This is, I don't feel right. Number one, like this is to get everyone a 50% discount, but I don't feel right having any of the ETH that comes from basically effectively like blood money from Scroll because of what Scroll's doing. So I will be doing a giveaway for the full amount here. And I think it's very disgusting that Scroll did this and basically, took advantage of people minting stuff and once again, just sold stuff out to projects to go this way. Now, I'm going to answer something here by somebody who I would assume has an IQ below 50 in Baroj. I'm going to tell you something, Baroj. My airdrop will be about $1,000. Okay, buddy? So I have no reason to be salty. Unlike you, I care about other people besides myself. So one thing I will say to you, Baroj, is probably the reason that you have a selfie as your image and you don't really do anything is because you have no friends. And you likely will have no friends acting this way. So my advice to you is think about other people besides yourself, because guess what? I got $30,000 from ZK Sync. Still, I did everything I could to help other people. So I'm not salty because I'm still getting money, but I'm very upset with how they treated other people. And when you're for the people, you care about that kind of stuff. So I'm sorry, buddy, but you really need some growing up to do. And it sounds like this might not be the right community or channel. You might want to go somewhere else where you can be negative and be all for yourself, bud. Okay? So let's go over here with 3Licks BT. So basically, confirming what we already know, the marks are not worth it. 20 badges, $4.72 is what they're giving you back. And 20 badges minting costs you like $20, right? And that doesn't include anything else you had to do extra. So any gas fees, platform fees, slippage, time spent. 3Licks BT, to his credit, was saying, hey, it's not worth it, right? Now, I shared this thread, FIP Crypto. I'm not saying he did this intentionally, but hey, he took a gamble saying, hey, let's, like he did a thread on let's do all the badges we can. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. If you take a look at the Scroll marks distribution, it's also like pretty sick, right? They just are not giving out much, even though you see like somebody who has 2,000 plus marks, 1.67%, right? 1.67% of people have 2,000 plus marks. Guess where all the whales are? They're all sitting here, and it is an exponential climb. I think this is a very, very good thread here. You know what I'm saying? So where's the money at? Scroll XPK or X, so ZKP. What am I saying? XKP. What the? So dumb. Okay, where's the money, right? So the size of the drop allocation, the top 10 wallets get 11% of the community drop. The top 100, 34%. think it's pretty funny to see this image, right? Inputs, the total marks are 827 million. Eligible marks, 738. Eligible wallets, 570,000, right? Basically, it's a fully linear, no cap. And because of that, they're saying that if you look at the pre-market price, you get like 7 cents a mark. So yes, it is about $74 for 1,000 marks. So like I said, for me, if I look at my thing, I'll get like $1,000, right? From my farming. But like I know influencers who have gotten like, what is it, like $15,000, 14, 12, $10,000 from referrals here. It's pretty gross, right? Because the community gets nothing from that. So the team went out of their way to make a pool of 10 million scroll tokens, which is that sort of everyone gets a split. But basically out of 570,000 wallets, right? This is where if you're a Sybil, you make money, right? Because you get like about 18 scroll tokens per wallet just for that reason. And there is that $24 bonus. So like you don't get that for the marks. You can't just multiply this. It's basically one time. So if you got 10,000 marks, you got $740 plus 24. So it is pretty bad. I'm very disappointed with Scroll. And if you take a look at sort of everyone else's commentary, it's pretty accurate. Well, only like tone deaf and really stupid people think this is a very good airdrop, or they're just like virtue signaling, hoping that Scroll will give them a bonus for like helping not tarnish their name. A couple things here as well. Scroll knew this and also told people, hey, mint our on-chain dice for $12. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I minted one of these for $12 too. I know some people who minted a dice on every single wallet. They just burnt $12. Same thing with the Brown Gent NFT. Look at how fast this thing dumped. It went from almost 0.02 ETH to about 1/5 that price in the last few days. Once again, this should tell you something because the price literally dropped before the announcement came out, which tells you that 2 days ago, they shared this with others. These drops aren't just like the timing would be much different. So Scroll once again is not doing things in the right way. What Scroll should have done is actually share this info with everyone. What they decided to do is let people know after the fact. And yeah, I know people are thinking about snapshots and stuff, and perhaps that's why, but you can even see it dropped before the snapshot. So it happened even before. This is just the last drop. One last thing I'll say before giving my final comments and sort of what I'm going to do going forward is, if you decide to end up supporting Scroll either way, I will apply to be a delegator for Scroll. I'm going to buy some tokens after the TGE. I'll get into some more details about this later. I'm not recommending anyone hold on to any Scroll tokens, but if you do, please consider delegating them with me, and I will use that platform to drive towards the needs of the community as always. Obviously, it's your choice. You don't have to delegate with me. Delegate with whoever you feel like. My honest opinion here is this is a pretty bad way to go about this entire airdrop. Like, couple things. Number one, let's just be honest here. I don't know of anyone who would say Scroll is a good chain, even without the airdrop. Let's just be straight up here. Like, Base is actually my favorite EVM chain next to Arbitrum. Like, it's Base, then Arbitrum, and that's because things are just so fast and easy and very simple, right? When I use Scroll, there's always a lot of lag. Some transactions I submit, it takes like 3 days to come in. What's the value that Scroll adds? What's the value that all of these other L2s add? What's the point of going on Chroma? What's the point of all these ETH L2s? They're doing nothing. They're just farming operations, right? Think about Blast. Think about Mode. Great, we have airdrops, but what is their real functionality? And the reality is there isn't any. These are just teams looking to get some suckers to buy their tokens. They tricked VCs into investing into them. And I think more now than ever, we're seeing there is no need for another Ethereum layer 2. There just isn't. There's got to be a real value proposition. So then when you think about the tokens and you think about Scroll token, why would anyone want to hold it, right? generally you wouldn't. The only time you'd want to hold on to it is if it's an incredible discount and you think that the price will go up after. This is what I think is going to happen. So let me tell you something. What I will be doing in the next 12 hours is I will be claiming my Scroll tokens. I will dump every single one of them. Every single Scroll token I have is going to be on the market, sold right away. I will monitor the price. If it goes down sufficiently, then I'll buy a tiny bit, but I'm not touching it otherwise, because I think that there is no value to the token. There is zero value, and the VCs and others will dump it because, once again, they just want money. They just want out, right? And I think this is very well accurate here. Scroll is very greedy, and I wouldn't call them a bunch of thieves, but basically they're just value extracting from retail. That's all they want to do. Any point keeping anything in Scroll? I don't think so. Because like my plan is I use Aave right now on Scroll, and I still have like some USD borrows that I'm not ready to clean up yet. What I will be doing is I will be moving all of this over to Base and Arbitrum, and because I already have some funds on Linea and I'm not really excited about that, but I'll just be using my money markets for Aave on Base or Arbitrum, or even one of those two. I think Arbitrum has Aave. I don't know if Base does. I gotta check again. But basically, I will use that platform and then I'll move things out of Scroll completely. I have zero reason to be on that chain ever again, right? Unless they do something different. Like this is me saying this. I don't know what they're gonna do. Okay, 12 marks, 1 Scroll. Yikes. Good idea to withdraw from Blackwing. I still think it's worthwhile to hold somebody in Blackwing for their airdrop, but we'll see. I wouldn't touch it yet. Have they announced anywhere what time the claim would be available? Yes, they have. So it's 7 a.m. UTC, right? So Hamanth or DB, I don't know why I'm calling you by your Discord name, but basically it's 7 a.m. UTC tomorrow. Okay, I hope that helps. What's going on with Zom, brother? You still in it? I have a tiny bit of Zomatica. I won't be talking about it anymore. I was very clear on this when the company decided to go against a lot of the investors, and I dumped most of it. I ended up breaking even-ish on that, and I still have a position. That position is down, but otherwise it's whatever. Flat boost is 20 Scroll per wallet. Yeah. It's not much, right? 20 Scroll per wallet, say $24. It's gross. Your domain is a top-level domain. How do you know that, exclusive? I would love to know how you got that. Why is higher TVL close to launch so important to these projects that they would risk their reputation? I think when you have higher TVL, you can command a better token price. But what a lot of these projects don't seem to understand is, why not give people a reason to hold on to your token, right? Like you can completely bungle this airdrop, but then why would anyone want to hold on to your token for some fake idea of governance? The reality with governance is whoever holds the most tokens decides, and it's usually going to be the team or their advisors. So it means nothing. Like, it's actually pointless. It's not real governance. It's one thing if you have like a fee sharing model, like the one that Aave is going to be doing, the one we hope for Uniswap potentially. But otherwise, why would you ever need to hold a token? It doesn't do anything for you. And staking a token for rewards is just everyone gets diluted, so it's not really making you any money either. So once again, it's what is the purpose of holding the token? Do you get access to something? And if you don't, no reason to hold on to it. Like, I think what Mode is doing with season 3, what Mode is doing is they are now going to have all their emissions in Optimism token. So you hold Mode, you stake it, and you get Optimism, and you sell your Optimism off. That's not a bad idea. Will the bonus 0.5% make a difference? I think it would, actually. I don't think a lot of people who farm don't do these activities. Now, I don't have the data to understand what that looks like, but I bought an ETH domain because of a personality thing. I wanted the Brown Gent.eth. I don't know how many people have that too. I'm dead. You try the password? Well, you got to try, right? Should have tried the password, Varad V. Bro, it isn't blood money you earn it. Yeah, I mean, I earned the airdrop, but the canvas, once again, people paid for this, so I'd rather just give it back. We'll find a way. I'm not surprised if selected people get the password earlier. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Hey, Ben, how's it going, man? Thanks, Brahman. Yeah, no problems. Emmy's the best. JD. Bro, I like this Gent. Yeah, appreciate it. Damn, that's harsh, bro. I wasn't harsh enough, if you want to be honest, to that bro-ish guy. If you don't want to listen, just log out, yo. That was the most Canadian way to diss someone. Honestly, like, I hate, like, there are some really, like, shit people who come on these streams who add zero value and just constantly want to say something. Like, for example, when ZK Sync happened, I didn't call it a scam. Why? Because they did what they said they would do. But that being said, what Scroll has said that what they would do, they lied. Same thing with Eigenlayer, and same with a bunch of other protocols. So when that happens, I call it out, regardless of what happens to me. A lot of times, I do it at my own detriment. Something you should know, and something that I learned in the last year is, I remember asking some influencers why they don't ever speak up about some of the shit that goes on. And the reality is, if you speak up against it, you get ostracized. You don't get included in deals. You basically are told to turn the other cheek and sort of turn a blind eye to something so that you get potential opportunities. You think projects want to partner with me when I call out stuff? Of course not. It's very far and few between. And I turn down most of the ones that want to partner with me because a lot of them just come and ask me, hey, can you post a video? We'll give you $10,000, post this NFT mint or post this token. And I know what's going to happen. What's going to happen is somebody's going to watch the video, put in $5,000 or more. Like, they're only paying me this, or they're only going to pay me this money because they think they can get more from my audience. And that's not acceptable to me. And so these are the kind of partnerships you have. The other partnerships are like, okay, great. A project wants me to like not call them out on whatever. And when I do, I either get blocked, or when they do their little like disbursements or whatever, they give people like Joshy like $30,000 or $50,000 in Eigenlayer token, and I get zero, despite me talking about Eigenlayer for so long. But guess what? I told people the truth. I said it was not fair what Eigenlayer did. So obviously they're not the biggest fans, and I'm not expecting them to be, right? So you don't get paid for being honest or being like having integrity in the space. So this is why it's so important, I think, for influencers to really look out for the community. Got 10K from ZK Sync after losing 15K. It was gotten. I'm glad to hear that, Joseph. I just realized the flat boost could be huge. Yeah, it's huge. Like, I only farmed Scroll with one wallet, but if you farmed it with 10 and you got the minimum, if you spread out that money, you got a decent airdrop. Sam is the #1 in crypto and airdrops. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Benny, as well. Nice to see you, bro. Seems we got screwed. Yeah, we got very screwed. You are the most sincere. Yeah, I appreciate you, Rajan. Thank you so much. Brown Gent for president. Honestly, as long as it's not Justin Trudeau for prime minister, we're good. Sup all. Hey, how's it going, Guy? If Scroll changes last minute and makes tiers like 500 plus marks, 1,000 plus 5, yeah, I think that would be great. Here's the thing, Simone. I think it's way too late to do things like that. The reality is, at this point, they've likely, when the moment they posted this, they've likely already had all the things ready and all like the entire database with the claim and stuff. So they've done the calculation. So Simone, what I will tell you is, I used to like work on rep compensation, right? So it's part of my role. And what we would do is we would run the numbers every single time we did a simulation. So like you have like a team of, I don't know, 50 reps or 100 reps. You basically put in like how they did, and then you bell curve it. You see how everyone did. You look at each extreme, and then you ask yourself if you want to make any modifications to individuals, and you have to have a good justification, or if you want to sort of curve everyone up or curve everyone down, for example. Typically, you only curve people up, but most of the time, by the time we give the criteria out, that's it. Everything has been signed off, approved, and you'd have to go and get so much paperwork done to fix this. And I really doubt that at this point they do something. As well, they don't want to piss off the whales. So unfortunately, they likely aren't going to change that. But I mean, we can hope. Hey, I am Rando. How are you doing? I guess that OG role on Discord means nothing. I mean, I don't think it will either. Unfortunately, it looks like the only thing that ended up mattering is marks. Like, for everything that they said, all they cared about was liquidity, and they just chose to not cap it so that if you didn't have enough money, you got nothing, and that's basically it. Hey Hugo, how's it going? I swear the only two airdrops that got it right was Arbitrum. I think those are two fantastic airdrops. I think a lot of these other projects are using those two airdrops. I think Layer Zero is actually a fantastically done airdrop too. The only thing that could have changed was the amount of like civil detective work and people reporting each other for different shares and that nonsense. But I think a lot of these other projects are taking advantage of what these couple did, the couple projects that did it right, and just hoping to just, you know, make bank on it. Got $22 for my 300 marks. Project I get, yeah, see, it's horrible. Yeah, see, Saga's not bad. Saga is very loyal, right? I minted 1 dice, yikes. Yeah, it's horrible. True, Zico, the Saga compounding has been great. Yeah, for facts. I know people that minted 5+ dice to get better rarity. Yeah, that's horrible. I know people who did like 1 dice per wallet, but I did 1 dice, got a common purple one, and was just like, I'm done. All the money on transactions and NFT, and as of my marks won't cover it. Yeah, that's horrible. You know, one thing they did say is if you weren't eligible for this airdrop, they're going to move it to the next one, which who cares? Like, I mean, maybe there'll be less people who are fighting for it, but I wouldn't touch Scroll after this, in my opinion, unless they do something very different. Fading Scroll as of today. Nano, I wish I was fading Scroll as of last year. Base number 1, 100%. You said you're a small influencer, but your quality is way better. Oh, I appreciate you, Nick. Thank you so much. Base, Arbitrum, Optimism. Yeah, I think those are great. I never really use Optimism, but Optimism has been very fast. I will give you that. I do like the Optimism airdrop, like number 5. That was a nice bonus. Scroll equals Starknet. I think Scroll is even worse than Starknet. At least Starknet had some criteria, although it was stupid. Scroll is just ridiculous. Where do you dump them? So Crypto Passion, best thing I will recommend for you is either join the Scroll Discord or use Jumper Exchange, and you should be able to find out when and where you can get rid of these tokens, right? But the Scroll Discord will likely give you the contract address, and then you'll be able to just go into Scroll here, type in the contract address. Maybe it's not out yet, right? Yeah, it's not out yet. This is probably some fake Scroll thing, and you'll be able to like swap it for whatever, you know, swap it for ETH or something. I mean, something like this. But we have to wait to see what that will look like. The ZK chains are a disaster, higher gas fees, and horrible. You know what I don't like about the ETH L2? Like, I do like Base and Arbitrum. One thing, if you're an ETH investor, ETH is not getting burned nearly as much anymore because people aren't spending on gas fees. So if you don't want to transact on chain, you just want the value of your ETH to go up, you don't want people saving money on gas. I'm not saying that's what I want, but it's just funny how it ended up working out. What's 225 marks? Let me see what they posted here. Somebody had posted something. Let's see. Oh, so 60 marks is 3.372, so 225 is likely like 15 plus like 24, but like 35 marks. So 35 scroll, 35 to 40 scroll tokens, DYOR. on the street. So I'm cooked with my 1.7 marks. I think everyone's cooked. I am rando. Claim in 10 hours? Yeah, it's bad. Sandy, truly, yeah, definitely screwed us. I remember you doing your first scroll tutorial. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I remember that too. One of my earlier airdrop videos. I think base. Yeah, so I know base is pretty centralized, but honestly, I don't really care so much about that because it's still on chain. And I get it, like not having a company control it. I think what base will eventually do is not have a token, but basically make their chain gasless up, likely cover all the fees on chain. You're not planning on going to ZK Sync for their incentives campaign? You know what I will share with you? What I did, and this is actually before ZK Sync announced it, I went and I've started in the Web3 Secret Society group putting together documentation on ZK Sync's phase 2, let's just say. Now, while there likely won't be an airdrop for it, there will likely be some sort of recognition of what my thought was. And this was like 7 days ago. I bought some ZK token at like a lower price and whatever, right? It was like 14 cents. And since then, they've announced sort of what their plans are. So yes, I will be doing something. And I have a video planned for this when I get back from Turkey. I've already paid for the thumbnail, actually, which is take 2, these airdrop campaigns and whatever. So we'll see. And then I'll share that with you when it's up. Aside from Zero and Optimism, were there any other tokens you're revisiting? So JD, today I posted on Twitter that I bought and staked more Jupiter. I'm going to continue doing that. I think the Jupiter team is the best team in crypto. Where Meow and the team has over-delivered. They're very transparent. Their next ASR, which is active staking rewards, takes place in January. And it's about a 15% return, or a little bit more even, on your staked Jupiter token if you sort of vote for all the protocols or the proposals, likely between 4 to 5. I would recommend doing that. Those are something great. I'm not holding any Zero tokens. I am holding Optimism and Jupiter for that reason. They're both going to give me airdrops. For Optimism, it's I want to get the 9,000 OP days plus, and there's some other stuff. All of this will be covered in a video this week. I promise you. Tune in this week. You'll see the video come up on what exactly to look for take 2 of these airdrops. Thoughts on putting liquidity from Scroll into Fuel? I think Fuel is trash, so I wouldn't do it, but it's up to you. I'm taking money from Scroll. That's more from a security standpoint than anything else, but I don't think Fuel is worth it. One thing I want you guys to also realize is we're getting more and more into the phase where like protocols are starting to have these security hacks. We saw what happened with Ambient twice. We saw twice in one day with the front end. Radiant got exploited, right? So anyone who didn't revoke access to the contracts lost money. Ask yourself, is a 5 to 10% APR, or that's the effectiveness of the airdrops you'll get, worth it? Given the fact that we're literally in Q4 of the cycle and you potentially are going to make so much more by just holding. There's a delicate balance, and now I am being a lot more strict on what projects I'm joining. I'm going to have an update video on this as well. Okay. I'll put this airdrop into Jupiter, 0.112 ETH spent on gas fees just for whale to do. Yeah, 100%. It's awful. I wouldn't expect much from base. Yeah, I don't think there will be a base airdrop. I think they won't have a token, but we'll see. Any advice on how to claim tokens when there's a lot of traffic? There's really nothing you can do, Doc Chandler. My recommendation is a lot of people are still not going to be up in time to do it. I would just try to claim and just sell right away. If you're unable to sell in the first wick, typically people stop selling after a certain period of time. There's a lot of people who just will come up with this reason and cope that like, oh, Scroll's going to go up. So what happens is you have this initial dump, then the price just literally stays flat for the next couple hours. And then it starts trickling downwards over the course of the next couple of weeks. We saw this happen with ZK Sync. I had dumped the majority of my ZK Sync in the pre-market, I got called out for not believing in ZK Sync, and I was very clear. It's not about not believing in ZK Sync after they gave me a max allocation, but more about knowing what's going to happen to these tokens. There's just not enough liquidity, even for good tokens. I'm not saying ZK Sync is a good token, but once again, what value does it bring? What value am I getting from it? Is it governance? Great. Like, I can wait for it to sell off. And I had sold majority at about 33 cents in the pre-market. At the lows, I believe it was 8 or 9 cents for ZK Sync token, right? So I'm super glad I sold them. I bought it back at 14 cents. So didn't time the bottom perfectly, but whatever, right? I didn't even buy that much back. I have 348 marks. I gave 196 marks. I burnt 0.016. And for $600 for 3 months, 270. Yikes. Guys, good news is Cosmos, a few airdrops. Yeah, the problem is, Punu, like a lot of these Cosmos airdrops suck. They're like $5. You know what I mean? Marv, am I still bullish on Lingo? I put in like a couple $1,000 into Lingo, and then they bought like a penthouse in Dubai. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, I'm so confused why like they did that. I mean, they're apparently going to hook everyone up with a bunch of airdrops from multiple projects. I'm a little worried because they gave out a ton of airdrop allocation that like basically I can't see people holding on to it. So I think it'll dump a lot when it comes out. So I probably will just want to dump my tokens once I get them. I really hope it doesn't jump completely. We'll see how it goes. But that could have been a bad investment on my part too. IDOs in general have just not worked out well ever since like March. Base may not have an airdrop, but the chain works. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, C-Mill, this is exactly my belief, and that's why I use it. So I agree with you. I don't think Base will have an airdrop, but I think the protocols will, and I think the chain is fantastic. Dungeon airdrop, a tone airdrop. Do we have a token address? I don't think so. I typed in SCR into Jumper, and it literally gave me one, but I don't think it's official. Once I find the official one, I will post it on I'll post it on Twitter. So make sure you follow me on Twitter. I'll post it there if I find it, okay? You keep saying Arbin Base, but why not ZK Sync? I just don't think ZK Sync is a good enough chain to use full time. Like, I don't think ZK. So here's the thing, GUIBot. Take a look at all the services provided by ZK Sync. ZK Sync does have Aave, but when I try to bridge stuff, it's so much harder from ZK Sync than Base or Arbitrum. Like, I want my money to be liquidity, right? Number one key in this game is liquidity and being able to move stuff around. A lot of times when I try to use something between ZK Sync and something else, it'll tell me it's not supported. Like, think about Stargate. I tried doing that, not supported. Do you believe in Base airdrop? I don't think they'll have an airdrop, Sam, but I think they're a good chain. One example of a Web3 TLD is the ETH TLD, which is built on the Ethereum blockchain. It allows for the registration management domains. TLD. Adam 1. There's no point to put time and money in airdrops anymore. Last 1 million is in Linea and Cosmos staking. Cosmos staking is not worth your time or effort. It's trash. One thing I will say, Marv, is watch my video on is airdrops cooked, or are airdrops cooked. I went through a lot of this. I think when people stop farming it, it becomes a lot more lucrative. That's basically my TLDR of that video. But I also go through some other things because, you know, like, it's about being a lot more selective in what we farm. You know, about 10 months ago or 9 months ago, I shared with you guys, unlike other influencers, I didn't want to do any test nets because they just weren't worth it. Turns out I was right on that. And then everyone else followed suit 3 months later when all the test nets paid out 0. And now people are just saying no to airdrops. I think ETH airdrops have been complete crap. I think the Jupiter airdrop, the Jupiteri or whatever, Jupuary is coming out in January, is going to be great. The snapshot for that is literally in 10 or 11 days on November 2nd. So make sure you've done your work for that one if you haven't already. I think the layer 0 second airdrop is going to be great. Remember, that airdrop I got $3,000 like a few weeks ago from Zero token, and that was just the remnants of the unclaimed tokens from TGE. So you don't even have to do anything crazy to farm these protocols. Just make it part of what you do. So whenever I'm swapping in the Solana ecosystem, I use Jupiter. Whenever I'm bridging, I use Jumper, and I select preferably for Stargate, which is the layer 0 technology. Also, Wormhole will have their airdrop coming up soon. So Marv, I don't agree with you. I think you can't just farm every airdrop. You've got to be very selective and pick those ones. Let other people believe that airdrops aren't worth it. What I'll tell you guys is a lot of people have YouTube channels shilling tokens and meme coins because they want you to buy their bags. What I do is I share information that actually works against me. When I tell you something that I truly believe, it helps people get more allocation, which in turn reduces what I will get. Right? It's a very different approach. The end of Scroll, the TVL will be down 50% within a week, probably even more. I agree with you. Add chain and stake Atom 1. Good channel. Thank you, Oscar. Appreciate you. Any news on Prism? No, they're like the swell. There's nothing yet. I'm putting half on ZK Sync. Yeah. Gizla. So in Gizla's part of the Web3 Secret Society, check out the document, the master document, and I believe it's like seasonal airdrops. Check that tab out. I'm going to be filling the rest for ZK Sync in there as well, okay? Panu Prism airdrop, you need to farm on their app a few months away. Yeah, so like I think a lot of us were farming this for months, but nothing so far. Trudeau has ruined our country. Glad you're a hater too. I wouldn't call it a hater. He just sucks. He just copies what the WEF does. I mean, so be it. Like, this is also why I'm moving. I just can't take it anymore. Alxi, I don't think you want me to talk about DeFi Kingdoms. They did a lot of really bad things, and if I made a video about that, I think a lot of people will be upset because I've already sort of talked about the truth there. I think DeFi Kingdoms is a horrible investment. I wouldn't touch it. Be very careful putting your money with a team that scams and steals from their players. Just be very, very careful, okay? What is my next big game after Scroll and Linea? My focus will be on Bitcoin airdrops, the Sui ecosystem, which I will be making a video about when I come home. So likely Friday, I'll have a video out on that. I do have a dentist appointment, so depending on how I feel. If I'm too groggy, probably not, but otherwise Friday we'll plan for that, okay? How's it go, Brandon? Hi, bro. Sui, Aptos. I think Sui is fantastic. Aptos, I'm kind of mixed on. They just had their 2-year anniversary. Maybe they'll finally reward us for their the on-chain activity NFTs that we did. So we'll see. Where do I recommend moving Ethereum ETH to? If you have to move it for now, just put it in Linea, because Linea will have an airdrop at some point. They may have it in Q4. We don't know. I think there's a lot of that nonsense and gossiping stuff around them not doing an airdrop for a year. I think that's fake. I want to see Linea out, basically seeing the end of Scroll out, hopefully see the end of Chroma soon as well, and hopefully that'll work out. Pato, can we expect a 5-figure drop from Jupiter? I think you can if you put in the work, using their protocol, pushing a ton of volume. My only fear, and this is the one thing I'll highlight, I think we're getting dangerously close. So originally, the January airdrop, or Jupuary, was supposed to be 1 billion tokens. They did a vote to reduce it by 30%, so it's only 700 mil. Given that the active staking rewards likely ends this January, that's coming up, they will likely have a vote. Not confirmed, but there's a lot of talk about this, that they will ask they will ask people, are you okay with us getting rid of Jupuary and just having active staking rewards going forward? Now, those who have the token staked, who will be voting on this, will likely say yes, because if you're staking in Jupiter, you probably want to get it that way versus having excess dilution through the airdrop. So I think it's sort of the elephant in the room. I can't tell you definitively it's going to happen, but I know a lot of people have been talking about this as a potential thing. But until then, just keep going at it. November 2nd is the snapshot anyways. So you got like 10 more days. The best way to farm the airdrop is pushing volume through limit swaps. That's what I've been doing. I shared a thread on Twitter on how I earn a lot of money using limit swaps, farming Camino Finance, farming Jupiter, and making money as the price of Solana goes from 130 to 155 or now even 170 earlier today. Another airdrop on Injective. Punu, I don't touch Injective anymore. I think the Injective airdrops were also pretty bad. I got the last decent airdrop I had for Injective was Helix and I got some Pith token that I dumped. Sinister, been holding him Scroll for like 6 months. I'm gonna get $100. Yikes, this sucks. Why bother to go on to the next Scroll session? They'll just let the whales crush us. Exactly. So Metro, we're gonna see exactly what's gonna happen. Formula One, they don't answer Discord. Oh, so what I'll tell you guys is I haven't been able to check Discord. I can only use it on my phone because anytime I use anything connected to the internet on my laptop here, I believe it's restricted here in Turkey, so I cannot get on. Can you get us access to the Pit staking site? I have no access to it either, and VPNs are banned in Turkey. So I was trying to look at it earlier. It literally said I could get sanctioned for you using a VPN here. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not touching any of this stuff here. It's already listed on SingSwap. Yeah, potentially. I'm going to look at it. So if I find it, I will post it. Brown, I can unstake my Pith. Yeah, you can. Brown, do you think there'll be an airdrop for base? I don't think so, but I have no idea. I would bet no. Do I think I should stake Pith on the new OIS or governance for airdrops? If you have Pith and you really want to hold on to, you believe in it, then stake it off the OIS. I believe that's how they rewarded people last time. Like last week, they did a airdrop for that. Is there a way to get around the Pith staking site? Dedicated VPN not working, bro. Please help. So I made a joke about this. I think if they're trying to like not let you have Pith, probably better for you. But what I would say is potentially, and I don't know if I'm saying it right, is it Pith or Pyth? People always tell me I'm saying it wrong. Whatever. You likely have to look into the reasons why it's not working. So I looked into this for Hyperliquid. What Pith could be doing is blocking it based on you using an IP address that everyone else uses, which means you need a dedicated IP. If that's not working, it likely means that they're blocking your ports. Those are probably the two biggest ones. There's also obfuscated servers or something you can use. I would look at all the options there and try one by one and see what the issue is. Every single provider who has these blocks uses something different. Do I like soccer? Yeah, I do. I like Manchester United. I can help it for unstake Pith for ton VPN. Nice. Is there a way to get around? You already asked this question. I answered it, Brandon. Only 1K marks TPG, not even close to 1K. Yeah, I got 15Ks. I got 14,000 marks, and I think I barely get 1,000 jab. Elk Elixir, is it out yet? I don't know. I know I'm waiting for the Elixir potions, if that's what you're asking, Gizla. I don't know what Elk is though. Deep book. Oh, for those of you who got deep, the airdrop, that thing has skyrocketed. I wish I got some. So jealous. Been watching you a bit now. You're legit. Good on you. Thank you, Jacksons. Best airdrop era was a few years ago. Uniswap, ENS. Yeah. The thing was, it's become so like manufactured and fake, right? A lot of people just have airdrop processes. They have wallet farms because in the past, you could literally sign a form. You could give your email address. You get $10,000. Everyone knows about these things, so they don't make it easy anymore. This really speaks to always wanting to be the early adopter in things. Because guys, look, no matter where you are on your journey here with crypto, one thing I want you to remember is these things will continue to, these kind of opportunities will continue to happen in your life, you know, in the next 5-10 years. It doesn't have to be crypto, but the next time something big is coming out, like this may be your first cycle, your second, your third. For me, this is my third cycle. But like, imagine knowing what you know now about this in the first cycle. The next time you have the opportunity to be an early adopter, these are the benefits. You can truly take advantage of it. Next time you hear anything, no matter how smart you think you are, no matter how stupid you think it is, just look into something. You might be surprised and you may be paid off big time. One thing I want you guys to remember is like, life is all about lessons, right? So think about that and go, hey, if I hear about another opportunity, maybe it's AI related, maybe it's something else about some other future thing, think about how you can get involved. And if you get involved early, huge payoffs. Do you guys know any white hats for MetaMask hacked wallets? I have no idea what that means. Sorry, Pinu. Where can I short scroll? You can short scroll on Avo. So Zoran, if you go to Avo, I actually made a video on the channel. Type in Avo guide Brown Gent and you'll find I was actually shorting scroll. I made a bunch of money after the video went live. It was nice. Avo. Yeah, there we go. Mohammed said it. Where can I find my scroll marks, SM? Go to scroll.io/sessions. So if you go, I won't show here. Scroll.io/sessions will show you how much marks you get. Could Binance as a main market maker hold the dump pressure on Scroll and pump it a little bit? They could, but they won't. They definitely won't. Any news of Celestia airdrops? Nothing yet. I think they're waiting to do that till after the unlock, which is in 8 days. Do you think Fuel will airdrop to Celestia? I'm not sure. I think Eclipse will. I think Eclipse will airdrop to Celestia stakers because they even have a page dedicated to it. Stop talking down to your viewership. I don't know who you're talking to, Anne. Like, Anne, is this sarcastic? I'm not sure what you're saying. Freaking got 0 airdrop for Celestia till now. How much can I expect with 350 marks, ENS, and 2 badges? So 2 badges. Let's do this over here. Let's do the math. 2 badges, 25. So 375. So 5, 6, 18, 20. Probably like 40 plus 40 scroll plus whatever the ENS gets you. I'm not really sure about that one because it depends on the level. Mohammed says 50. Okay, great. Is ready for you airdrops. Adam is dead. Long live Cosmos, SDK, Rune. I heard Rune's great for sure. How is the conversion from marks to scroll? Basically, 60 marks gives you 3.372 scroll. That's what a lot of people who are smarter than me did a lot of calculations and they got to this. Punu, I'm not saying to fade Cosmos. The thing is, I've been holding Cosmos for since last cycle, and Adam and the entire Cosmos ecosystem in IBC has completely dumped. In fact, this week they're trying to figure out how to turn the ship around. So if you guys know, there's a thing called Cosmoverse. It's happening in Dubai. I wish I could have went to it just to learn some stuff this weekend for the next 2 days, I think. But basically, Cosmoverse 2024 is how to get Cosmos around. What was happening, just so you know, this is not something I'm coming up with. This is something I was told. There was a lot of infighting and a lot of delegators for Cosmos, the Atom token. They were voting on these protocols to just pay their friends, and they were just dumping the token price. So if you look at the Atom token during the bear market, it was $15. Now it's $5. It's horrible. TLD top level domain. So Brown Gent is a TLD. Nice. That's awesome. Thank you, exclusive. What to expect with 2900 marks? Guys, just 2900 divided by 60. 40. So maybe you'll get about 180 scroll, something like that. Worst mistake I made this year was not listening to you and dumping ZK Syncs. I felt I look, Kui, I could have easily been wrong there too. I can't see the future, obviously, right? The only thing I do is I look at trends and I look at what people are doing, and all we saw was every airdrop just completely dumped. And we were at a time where we were downtrending the market, right? This was the summer. I remember I was in Vegas for my buddy's bachelor party, and I was super excited because in back-to-back weeks, I was going to get ZK Sync and Layer 0, and they were, ZK Sync was a 30,000 US airdrop. It's fantastic. But I didn't want to lose that money, so I sold it for USDC, and then I bought ETH at 2,600, or I think it was that 26 or 2,700, and then the ETH dumped to 2,200 after. I was but still, it wasn't the worst. And it doesn't mean you're not loyal to ZK Sync. Think about it this way. If you really want to be loyal to ZK Sync, you'll say, hey, I want as many tokens of ZK Sync, not dollars, but tokens. So if you sell it early, you could actually be more loyal and buy it back and buy more of it. You can use all that money to buy double the amount or triple the amount. Already farming ZK finance. Nice. Any idea on how to expose yourself to BTC FI with ETH? You don't own any BTC? Well, what you could do is I made a video actually, Leo. Check out Bitcoin airdrop the Brown Gent, and in those videos I actually share like how you can get LBTC for Lombard Finance and others. You can use Uniswap and you can get that on the Ethereum chain. Other option is to use a protocol like Rocket X. Rocket X. Do I have it on here? Sorry, I'm on my laptop, so I don't typically have everything on here. So, and by the way, guys, my apologies for not putting links to everything I'm showing on this video. I will do that later. I'm in a hotel room right now, and barely holding this together. So here, you see this Rocket X exchange. I use this, and you can basically get Bitcoin, or you can trade whatever you want. So I like that. Good stuff. I love you, Alpha. Appreciate you, Sinister. Really, Dungeon's not showing results. Oh, didn't know that. Still crying. Selling my deep. Hugo, you know how I feel? I didn't get any deep token because I didn't natively stake. I liquid staked on Stewie. I was too late by the time they did the airdrop. But I missed out on like a massive airdrop. But this speaks to friction, right, guys? Think about it this way. What other chain would have given you a massive airdrop for staking natively? This is where we have to look at those chains like Sui, like Aptos, and others, and go, hey, is there an opportunity here before everyone jumps on board and tries to farm this, right? Hit the likes, peep. Thank you, Sinister. Appreciate you. Guys, make sure you get the likes up. Really? VPN's blocked? That's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. There is a way to get around it, yes. Wonder what would happen if you download Tor, added MetaMask wallet to Chrome. Maybe you could answer. Yeah, I've heard about Tor. I've never used it, actually. I heard like it's considered like the black web or dark web, right? I'm in UK. I found a thread. It's port blocking. Yeah, I made a full thread on Hyperliquid. Apparently, I got reported for that. I got it, sold it too soon. Yikes. Top 4%, is that good? For Scroll, no. I wish it was. Is it guaranteed we're getting peanuts? There's a slither of hope. It's a very small chance. But, like, honestly, you should just assume you can get peanuts. And if you are pleasantly surprised in 10 hours, then be pleasantly surprised. They may have had a cap they didn't mention as an oversight, but I doubt it. Thanks, Oran. No problem. Got 858 marks. It's okay. It's probably $100. Thanks for getting around. That's for getting around path. Yeah, nice. Can we expect a MetaMask airdrop? I just got their they got a MasterCard. Let's check it out. MetaMask made an announcement like with a Pokemon card. Trying to imply an airdrop, but like honestly, the same company Consensus that has Linea. Let's wait for Linea to do an airdrop before we do anything else. But we'll see. It seems like everyone's moving to buy. Yeah, zero tax. It's not just zero tax on crypto. It's safety, right? It's controlled immigration. There's a lot of things there that common sense people who just want to live life, follow laws, and like live in an orderly fashion like. And the fact of zero taxes, I don't mind paying taxes. It's just when the tax money is not used appropriately, you'd rather say, hey, okay, fine, I'll just pay for all my services. Smash the like button. Yeah, guys, hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Wow, what a joke. Just did the math. Yeah, it's bad. Am I tripping or is shorting Scroll free money? Oh, it is free money. Simone, I made a video on shorting Scroll because of that. I did that like 2 weeks ago. Like, let me see if I can find it. The Brown Gent Evo. Where is this? Like right here. How to short/long tokens with Evo. And it was Scroll that was the example. Live Art has a 24-hour event going on. Chris, I would be very careful about Live Art. They offered me some money to basically tell you guys to mint stuff, and they were going to give me a big portion of what you guys minted. Be very, very careful with this protocol. Like I said, they literally were trying to bribe me to push this on you guys. I refused, and they were trying to pay me to do it. I'm like, no, thank you. So, hey, that's my warning, guys. Just be aware of this. I really had 2 Sui and 2 walls, only trying to use Martian and Sui. Still free money to buy their console. Yeah, that's very nice. That's sweet. I use ad shares and domestic IP addresses to get around any VPN blocks. Milton, am I selling any scroll tokens I'm getting? I'm selling all of them. I'll be selling all of them, okay, guys? And remember, if you haven't already, make sure you go on here. I see people follow me, but follow me on Twitter. Why do I say that? I'm going to be doing that giveaway for where is this? For the ETH that I got as a referral bonus from the canvas. This will be given away through that. So definitely make sure you do that because I want to make sure that you guys see it when it goes live, okay? I'm top 0.36 on Scroll, and after all the noise, kind of have no idea. Yeah, honestly, guys, we're saying all of these stuff, but we won't know until the checker goes live in about 9-ish hours. Will I farm the second session for Scroll? I will not. I will not be touching Scroll ever again. I will only do the governance if I buy some tokens back, and that's why I tell you guys, delegate to me if you want me to sort of, if you have tokens. I'm not saying you should, but if you have tokens, I will represent your needs. Do I short the pre-market? I would short the pre-market if I was doing it. Here's why: the token's gonna dump, right? So people are gonna get the token, they're gonna dump the tokens. If you wait for the normal market, then the tokens will already have dumped, and then the actual risk to reward is way worse. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I want to thank you all. I see Nobody just jumped in. How's it going? Guys, it's been about an hour and 15 minutes. I got to get going. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you haven't already, hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter for that giveaway, and we'll see you next time.